dream to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scarred and covered with scars, still strong with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star. Welcome, comrades and friends, brothers and sisters. I figured I'd hop on and do a very quick Easter address. I woke up a little early. We were sleeping in this morning. My young son and my wife are still sleeping. Family hasn't come over yet. I might have to end this short. If I get a knock on the door from a family member, I'll go ahead and end it. I introduced the show this morning with a song from Man of La Mancha, The Impossible Dream. It's a rather inspirational song, and I think that's kind of what we're doing as socialists and leftists. It's a cause, it's a mission, it's a fight, and we give everything we can to it. And I always like that. That song, it was actually rather popular in the, when that came out, I think the 70s or what year, and there was quite a few like easy listening bands and like singer groups, like basic boy band singing groups, pop groups at the time that there's quite a few covers of that song. Actually, I don't have a lot to say. Actually, I took down notes while I was driving. Like I'd listened to different podcasts, Gray Zone, Caleb, even bougie sources like Democracy Now, and I take notes of ideas that I had. I think the first one is, man, I really liked the show I did with the B-level comrade on Ewoks Unhinged, and I liked the discussion we were having. And I think Trotsky really did hate the peasantry. And it was Stalin and foundations of Leninism that put the question of allies with the proletariat revolution. In here, he has both the peasant question and the national question. And I think that's important. Rural workers, rural folks, and anybody we can get involved in the revolution to this day, and people of oppressed nations. And this shit still goes on today. People who don't appreciate it, it's no coincidence that people don't appreciate the accomplishments of Stalin are the same people who treat people from oppressed nations rather, elitist. They look down on them, just like they look down on rural working folks. And on this show, we're all about a coalition of communist, socialist, rural working folks coming in and learning and lift themselves up not to be laughed at by these goddamn academics and all this bullshit. And firmly alliance with our brothers and sisters in the oppressed nations, Afro-America and Aslan, Chicano brothers and sisters. We are the oppressed classes. We are the exploited. And they try to take our movement and our understanding of socialism and twist it for their sick class interest and continue to be a non-threat to the imperialist system. I mean, Trotsky looked at disdain at the peasantry in Russia. And then when it came to China, Trotsky looked down at Mao for organizing the rural populations. So these trots still hate us to this day. They still say the same classist bullshit to us, oppressed nations and rural folks. They don't want to lift us up. They want to just mock us. They just want to sit on their high horse. And I'm fucking tired of it. So trots hate me, and I'm cool with that. And it's part of the class analysis. And I'm going to keep talking about it. I got kicked out of 3 groups this week, calling out people's shit. I quit my job this week over some wage theft. I'll get another one, man. It's easy to get another trucking job. Hello, Tanky Gang, man. Thanks for coming on here. Not a lot to go on. Thanks for coming on here, Tanky Gang. The other thing I was actually listening to this more academic, but I think somewhat black nationalist YouTube program. I'm not sure which one it was, but it was talking about, this is on the issue of oppressed nation brothers and sisters. It was talking about the tax policy and the way in the tax policy, there's been, when people get married, there's a tax incentive to get married and there's a tax penalty for getting married. And the way it works is, if both partners are working when you get married, you end up paying more taxes. But if there's only one high income and you get married, then you pay less taxes when you get married. Well, it turns out that people of color, especially African American brothers and sisters, African American sisters in particularly, were more likely to have jobs and more likely to be made an income. I mean, you talking about going back to slavery, how black women were forced to work and continue put into conditions that were continue to work. And then when the laws go into effect, it ended up taxing black families more than white families. I thought that was hilarious, because you get this whole, look at this damn Fox News, the whole thing of the damn welfare queen bullshit. I mean, the majority of people on welfare are white folks, number one. And next up, it turns out black women have been more likely to work and have been taxed for working. I mean, the system is completely on its head. I mean, if you look at Malcolm X, you let the news, if you're not careful, the newspapers will have you loving the oppressor and hating the oppressed. And it's absolutely true. And it's up for us, for independent media, to point this out and stand in solidarity with our African American brothers and sisters. And I think it's absolutely disgusting, the way people are betrayed in the media. And then the actual reality on the ground, that African American people and Chicano brothers and sisters are more likely to be exploited. I mean, that's disgusting. You got to look at this as an idea of international solidarity. International solidarity, an injury to one is an injury to all. Which means if they attack any of us, they're attacking all of us. If they can hold down the wages of any of us within the working class, they can take down all of us. And that goes to the socialist countries around the world. When they attack socialist countries, they attack us. When socialist countries lift their people out of poverty, when socialist countries provide education and healthcare, that is a victory for all working people. That is a victory for the international proletariat, including the workers within the imperialist core. This is the message I got to bring to y'all. Maybe get some other stuff on here. My other note, I think that's about all I got for notes. Maybe I can get a quick talk about the heading about American rebirth. Happy Easter, everybody. We have American Dissident here. Happy Easter, everyone. I'm very glad everyone's here. It is a holiday weekend. It's very precious to a lot of people. And I respect people's faiths, and I respect people in general, and I want them to be part of, however they can, to the fight for a better future in socialism. And when I talk about American rebirth, I am talking about a new future free from national oppression, a future that dismantles the institutions of the institutional racism and the political and economic infrastructure that maintains the super exploitation of our black and brown brothers and sisters. It is only through this, with solidarity with the oppressed nations, that all working people can free ourselves from the capitalist system. As long as they have us divided, we are weak. United, we are strong. And united, we will bring about a better future. It's like they got us on these fucking wheels, man. It's like the whole society is set up to exploit us and super exploit people of oppressed nations. Like, why don't we have health care? Well, jobs offer health care. So if jobs offer health care, that means you're more likely to stick with that job. So you're stuck with a job, just have basic health care for your family. I have quit my job. Every time I quit my job, I lose health care for my family. So if you lose health care for your family, you're more likely to take horrible things like wage theft, dishonesty, disrespect. You're more likely to stay there. I had the ability to quit. I'm not under a huge strain, but there's folks that don't have the ability to quit jobs who are experiencing wage theft, who are experiencing dishonesty, humiliation in their workplace, sexual assault from our women comrades and fellow workers. So why don't we have health care? It's to keep us working these shit jobs. Why don't we have basic education? The same reason. They deny us the fruits of our labor to keep us working and continue their profits. There's no stake in the system, this old, dying, inefficient system. We need a rebirth, and we need a better future where we, the people, have a say in our own destiny. We, the people, have a say over our own system. We, the people, we, the workers, have a say of what gets done with what we produce. Their profits come from our suffering. Their days are numbers, and a new America is coming. All power to the people.